Welcome to Stellar Reflections, the space where astrology meets real life. I'm Georgina Sierra, here to explore the cycles, crossroads, and inner seasons that shape who we become. Whether you're stepping into adulthood, navigating midlife, or entering a new chapter of wisdom, you'll find insights, stories, and cosmic guidance to help you understand your path. This is a place for all people, all identities, and all phases of life. So no matter where you are on your journey, you're welcome in this space. Welcome, Elena. Welcome back. I'm so excited.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I will start off with saying that Elena, the relationship astrologer, is back with us, and we're going to talk about 2027. And you're like, it's too early. Well, people are putting Christmas decorations up as this will go to air probably. All the diaries
True.
are coming out already. But I think forewarned is forearmed. And with things that are happening in the skies now, astrologers have already looked ahead 2 years before where we are now. And we see things and we're like, ooh, how's it going to pan out? And it pans out differently. But, it's really exciting because if you look in an ephemeris on a surface level, there's nothing really happening, is there? There's just like, the big changes have happened. But we delved into it. We looked at the angles and the aspects that are happening. And there's some real cool stuff happening under the surface, isn't there, Eleanor?
True. And I feel like 2027 is almost like a continuation. It's like of 2026. So it's almost like the seeds have sort of taken root in 2026, and there's progression of the seeds that have been rooted in 2026. So it's more like a continuation of what's happening in 2026. So more potent too.
Right. There was
Yeah.
this big configuration you were telling me about earlier. That's like
Yes.
a bucket, was it? Sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me more about that.
Yes. Well, it's known as from the French astrologer. He was concentrating on mundane astrology, so world events. And the only way I remember that, because mundane is mondo in Italian, so that's how I remember world events.
Mondo. Oh, I thought it was
Mondo.
boring, general. Oh
So
my
he
God.
he really studied world events, he
Right.
really studied the history of it, so he could see the comparisons of what was happening. And he actually predicted the COVID-19 episode with the Pluto Saturn conjunction, and also the fall of the Berlin Wall in the Soviet Union with communism, with the Uranus conjunct. Well, what was it? It was when the wall was actually falling. It was Uranus, Saturn, and Neptune all conjunct in a
Yes.
very
In
strong stellium
Capricorn.
in Capricorn. My God,
Yeah.
of course. So the government structures falling down, right? And then even, of course, in the COVID-19, it was also in Capricorn too, Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter. So Pluto, virus could represent that. Saturn, authority,
Yep.
restrictions. And Jupiter expands everything he touches, isn't it? So, and then
All over the world.
yeah. So he predicted those two, and then he's got some really good predictions of what's happening. He thought 2026 was going to be a very big pivotal point, the turning point. He's got, I've got some quotes from him, like a new age of humanity, the most beneficent configuration of the century. So he saw that there was a very rare alignment of the three outer planets, which is about to happen on the 19th of July. We've got Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus all going to come into I like to call it a mini grand trine. So Pluto sextiles Neptune, Neptune sextiles Uranus, and then Uranus trines with Pluto. So that's what he was talking about, this mini grand trine. And, harmonious energy, but harmonious, when you say harmonious, that could also mean the energy, whether it's conscious or unconscious, because remember, planets, as we were taught, can be expressed consciously or unconsciously,
That's
right?
right. Yes.
So yes, the energy is going to flow very easily, but, could that be unconsciously expressed as well? So it's an interesting, big, very rare. This has never actually happened in all air and fire signs too. So once Uranus goes into Gemini, and then it also makes another sextile to Jupiter. So on the 19th of July, we've also got the Jupiter coming in, and Jupiter is almost like, I see it as like the joystick, like it, it ramps things up, because then
Yeah.
Jupiter actually opposes Pluto. And that's when it makes that big bucket, and it's known as so Andre Barbeau, sometimes known as the Barbeau basket or the cradle. I like the term cradle because when I heard cradle, I thought, oh, I actually thought baby, being reborn,
Yeah.
and that, and I thought baby Jesus. Then I thought, what was the baby that was left in the Nile River? And I thought, no, that wasn't baby Jesus, that was baby Moses.
That was Moses, yeah.
Yeah.
Go
I
way
was,
back.
but I don't know why that image came to me. I thought, oh my gosh, are we going back to, you know, being reborn? And Moses was obviously revered for downloading the Ten Commandments.
And that goes across all religions. If you check the Quran as well, it's
Oh,
I don't think it's Moses. Correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not of the Islamic faith. But I was speaking with family friends who are, and they said all those morals are in the Quran. We've got it
uh-huh.
in the Bible. We have it in the Old Testament. You have it in Judaism. You have them also in Buddhism, but taught in different ways. So it all translates across. So I'm wondering,
Wow.
with this energy being so harmonious, are we all going to go back to our traditional roots and just something more simple? Or is it, as like harmonious energies and aspects where like, oh, it's all going to be easy, but is there also a chance of becoming too complacent? That could be an awakening of sorts, do you think? On a collective level, obviously.
I think that the newness, the new seeds, and actually, I actually think it's an opportunity for us to actually create a new set of the Ten Commandments. I really do see that.
Oh,
I really do see that happening. So it's a new civilization that we need to create. And to do that, so obviously from birth, we need death, right? Figuratively, death. So as you can see, things have been dying, in terms of Pluto coming in. Like, obviously, those outer planets, they don't do things nicely like Venus, do they?
no, they
Yeah.
come in and they're like, hello.
So Pluto initially came in. So that's that was the first. So I've actually if you want to dissect each of the outer planets. So with Pluto in Aquarius, that came in 2023, and they brought in the Me Too movement. Women standing up for themselves, saying, I matter. I deserve to take up space. So that revealed bullies, I suppose, was that's the quickest term of saying it. So leaders in their position who have abused their power. Pluto is gonna
Oh, it's happening everywhere.
Pluto's gonna reveal the
Yeah.
truth on that, especially when it has come from Capricorn. That transition from Capricorn, remember, to Aquarius, it was very much, exposing the leaders who abuse their power in government hierarchical structure, so government, religion, any hierarchical structure. And then Aquarius, of course, is not going to take any crap. Uh, it wants equality, of course, and liberty, and so it's going to. So I think that's it. It started with Pluto, and then of course Neptune came along ingressed into Aries.
Yeah, that's a really interesting one because it's playing a big role in 2027. And Chiron, he's going into Taurus, but then he's going to go like every outer planet and asteroid. They go a little dip into the new sign and they're like, "Ooh, this is what it's like." And then they go back into the previous sign to finish off what's needed. And then they go back into the new sign and then they do their thing. So Chiron's going to go into Aries, or into Taurus, sorry, but then it's going to retrograde into Aries and it's going to eventually meet up with you're going to have, Saturn and Neptune. Now, it will be out of orb, but Chiron, once he's in a sign, he affects the whole sign. And he's really talking to these planets. And Vesta's there too. So she's very priestess-like. So I'm wondering, are we in 2027 going to see, with these new changes, this new guard coming in, that we'll be, more devoted to ourselves, like, looking after ourselves more than we have, almost being selfish, but not so much, not like in a snobbish way, like things have changed after COVID and everyone's like, oh, just, they've just given up all the pretenses, but being more respectful to others, but being more respectful to ourselves.
Yes, you hit the
That come
nail
in?
on the head. Exactly. And you remember when, so Neptune went
Well, with Saturn
into
there too. I mean,
Saturn, of
that's
course.
huge.
Saturn was, so Saturn and Neptune on the 20th of Feb this year at 0 degrees, of course, in Aries, which is the world axis. It's the new year for astrologers, of course. It sometimes usually 0 degrees Aries. We usually chart that, don't we, for new leaders. So new presidents that come in, and we actually can see the energies that are happening in that year. That's how we predict what's going to happen. And when that happened, do you remember? It was I sort of call this as the the Carl Sanderland's Jackie O effect, because
Oh,
do you
yes.
do you remember that as and that was based on astrology too, because I think she's a
It
very avid
was.
astrologer, closet astrologer.
Well, look, I'll give, sorry to interrupt you, I'll give our international listeners a bit of context about this, because it was huge in Australia. They might have
Yeah,
heard about this
it still is.
overseas.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. So we had on a major radio network, The Morning Drive, the two presenters who have been together since the 90s. I remember them. And they had a feud over astrology. So was it Jackie O? She says she believes in astrology, and Kyle, who's this buffhead, who I would call like a redneck. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent, like someone who's a bit close-minded, very like, oh, I'm king shit and nothing else, I would say.
Well,
He
he's
he
known
he
as the
just
king of the radio, isn't he? The king. So
He is, but he bulldozes. He's a little bit of a bully there. And the big argument that ensued from that, wasn't it? And it just split their show apart. Didn't they fire him but keep Jackie on? Is that right?
they did fire him, and then he tried to sue the radio station. Now he's just recently settled for a
Oh,
settlement fee. Yeah. So because he said, "Oh, I've already spent like $1 million in legal fees. I don't want this to continue." But I thought that
wow.
was the catalyst. See, so when Saturn and Neptune, so Saturn, the authority figure, right, gets close to Neptune, which is, that what it dissolves in Aries. Aries is the leader, right? It's the
Yes.
kin at 0 degrees. So what I see happening, and this actual conjunction is going to be continuing all throughout 2027. Like, even though Saturn will move
It'll move on, but
slowly
it'll
away
be,
from
yeah.
Neptune, but that energy will still be intact. So I do see a continuation of literally kins falling. And women, Jackie O, taking, she just said, I just, her whole body just shut down. She just couldn't continue being abused by him anymore. She just,
Yeah. That's
this
been
is
going on
it.
for years. Yeah.
This is it. The energy is in the air.
People are not putting up with that stuff anymore.
No. And
No
and
one
and
is.
that's what Saturn and Neptune conjunction is going to continue to do in Aries. So because Saturn, obviously, when it goes into Aries in a traditional astrology, Saturn falls in Aries. It's so literal.
Oh my
Saturn literally
goodness.
falls. It falls. It's in detriment, but it's known
Okay.
as it falls. So
Yeah.
the king falls. It's so literal. That's why I love astrology so much. It could literally be like that. And this is what has to happen, right? So that's a huge continuing transit that's going to continue. Even with just recently, with I think there was even in the corporate world with the KPMG they were caught silencing it. A whistleblower came out and said, look, how we're using some private client information to win new tenders, contracts, and they shouldn't really have been getting access to this because it was giving them an unfair advantage, right? With
Yeah, that's right.
other players who wanted to win the contracts. And so a whistleblower came out, but KPMG, they actually tried to discredit and silence this whistleblower for 2
Of
years.
course.
Then they get caught. And then after they get caught, see the truth, Pluto in Aquarius, revealing the truth, the person who is abusing their power, the truth will always come out. Pluto reveals the truth. You can't hide from Pluto. I always
Yeah,
say that.
that's so true.
And then,
Yes.
of course, and I like to call these outer planets angels that are really working together. Like we really need the three big guns together at the moment. I don't think one's going to cut it. Pluto started at the beginning. Like he came in, washing away, revealing the truth. Now Neptune has come in with Saturn of helping Neptune to, in Aries, revealing literally making the leaders who are abusing their power to not be able to hide, basically. And then, of course, we've got Uranus, who's just recently gone into Gemini. And Uranus is, it's an earthquake, isn't it?
It is.
Literally.
It'll shock you. It's electrifying earthquake. That's like zap, and you're like, no, this is untenable. It's not going to cut it anymore. Big change. Do it.
It literally shakes the ground from under you. So when you've got those three angels working together, which has never happened in our lifetime, by the way, in air and fire sides, like that's
Okay, so in living memory, it hasn't happened. Is that right?
Pretty much, yep. So
Yeah.
but like exactly at 4 degrees, and of course then you've got Jupiter on the 19th of July. Plus, if you are like late at night, Australian time at 11 p.m. And I do credit Rick Levine because he noticed that the moon in Libra is actually going to sextile Jupiter, so it almost makes a Star of David chart pattern, but it
Wow,
misses.
that is rare.
It is,
Star of
yeah.
David. Yeah.
It misses the 6th point, so it makes 5 points sextiling. And when I was looking at that, I thought, oh, and then when I was dissecting the energies of what, like Pluto wanting to reveal the truth, Neptune dissolving the leaders who are abusing their power, Uranus coming in with Gemini energy. That's very much sudden. I'm gone.
I'm done.
Forcing. Yeah. And then, of course, Jupiter initiates, it expands that. When I saw this, I was contemplating, looking at it, I saw. Yes, you could see like a basket, but then I saw like petals of flowers, and I thought, oh, why don't we just call it like a lotus? And I thought,
Lotus aspect. You heard it here first.
and I thought, oh, that's because the lotus. And I was doing some research on lotuses, and lotuses represent the Buddha and spiritual growth and awakening. It's almost like the whole world is going through a spiritual awakening.
We are.
Yeah.
We really are. Let me ask you, in that aspect pattern, you said one of the points is missing to form the
Yes.
Star of David. What sign is that in? Because that's the missing leg in a T-square to make a grand cross. Where is the missing leg? Where do we have to work on it?
Sagittarius at 4 degrees. So if you've
4
got
degrees.
something at 4 degrees of Sagittarius, wow, you make a whole big Star of David there. That's going to really be quite potent. But anyway, the cradle on its own is potent too. So yeah, it's interesting how I've got visualizations of the cradle in the Nile River with Moses, and then I thought, oh, I'll expand on that. I thought, well, okay, Moses is famous for bringing in the 10 Commandments. So do we really need to? Is it like an up leveling of consciousness, right? Because if you look at Uranus in Gemini, we have had that obviously aspect throughout the years, and that especially coincided with very radical scientific breakthroughs. Like, for example, people once thought the Earth was flat. And then there was
flat earthers out there.
and then there was literal proof when Uranus was in Gemini. There was the proof that you couldn't deny it. The Earth was round. Plus, also there was another. I noticed that Uranus was in Gemini when I think it was Galileo that discovered in his telescoping that he discovered that the Earth, because you know how we thought the Earth was the center, geocentric.
Yes.
There was nothing else apart from
That's right.
Earth. He actually mathematically calculated when Uranus was in Gemini that the Earth was actually revolving around the sun, not the other way around. So so I actually predict there's going to be another radical breakthrough like that, scientific breakthrough that we'll all like consciously have to force ourselves, like we probably don't believe now, but it will make us go, oh my God. Like it'll be like another higher consciousness of closer to the creative force. Like I just think, I mean, is it like, I mean, that could be as something, are we going to see like aliens that will be proven?
Maybe they'll finally land going, humans, come on. I mean, really, this is getting ridiculous.
But well, does it also just bring new healing modalities? So I really do predict.
With Chiron.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. There's going to be something of substance that's going to come in, I believe. And there's a lot of talk out there that, churches have hidden away the fact that we're not here by chance. With the woo-woo. They've been hiding the facts behind the woo-woo. And that might all come out and our spiritual development might jump that extra energy level, perhaps.
Yes, exactly.
And a bit more healing, And I'm wondering, with all these outer planets that we're fantastically talking about, what do you think? Because every 6 months, these outer planets are like, Pluto starts it. He goes, I'm going to go retrograde. So we have those revisiting of the lessons. But how do you think this can also pan out when we go through retrograde season in 2027?
Well, we would have to it's like a time to take stock and review what has been revealed. So it's a time for integration. I always think the retrograde period it's because that could be, that's very potent energy. You've got the three big guns here.
And it's going to last many, many years.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's like a trigger for something coming. Yeah.
So, and we're obviously ready for it. So it really is going to be, and that's why I thought, Lotus, because that is the symbol for getting to like nirvana, right? Like, total detachment of ego. So, and then when I did do some more Google research, I didn't realize there's different colors of lotuses. And I liked because I just thought there was a white lotus, but I liked the definition of the golden lotus. The golden lotus is when there's like the golden light directly from source coming onto it. But isn't it beautiful how the lotus is still connected to the ground through the muddy roots, right? The roots are still connected.
Yeah.
Through the muddy water.
Exactly.
So I think I just see that muddy water that the lotus has to go through is the Pluto, the Neptune, Uranus, it's forcing change. Maybe, we'll get a bit messy, muddy, but then we will, get into a beautiful golden lotus. So that's why I'm calling it the golden lotus age.
2027, the year of the golden lotus. That's it. That's what we're going to call it. That's awesome. One thing that also comes up every year is eclipse seasons. And we have 2 next year.
Well, actually, I think we've got one extra, don't we, next year?
We do.
Yeah.
August is a triple eclipse season.
That's crazy.
And that's rare. That's also rare as well.
Yep,
so with February, we've got eclipses across Aquarius and Virgo. And with eclipses, you can feel the energy coming up.
Yes.
Especially where you have Virgo and Aquarius in your chart in this instance. And it can trigger things a year to 2 years ahead. You can feel the energy from that. But with the August season, it will back it up, but it also moves into Capricorn, Leo, and Aquarius. So something dramatic and fated there. And, the ancients were like, oh, it's an eclipse, we're going to die, or something like that. It's like catastrophic. But in modern age, we know, and in astrology, that it is, the trigger for something. It's that kick up the butt from the universe. Like, if you've been on the wrong track, you're going to feel it up the butt even more. That
Oh,
sounds horrible.
totally,
Sorry.
totally.
Compared to if you're on the right track, it's like, oh, something just bumped into, whatever. I don't know what everyone's talking about. But, we're having this Lotus, the golden Lotus year that's starting things. But Aquarius, so we've got Aquarius it's really important this year with the eclipse seasons, eh?
Very much so. So yeah, so the nodes, so eclipses. When I hear eclipses, I always think, well, it's literally the moon expressed like a steroid on steroids, right? It's that extra oomph of new moon or full moon, and that's because it includes the nodes. So the nodes are up to 18 degrees from the new or full moon. And I believe the nodes are changing, aren't they? So they stay in a sign for about 1.5 years. So the South Node currently is in Virgo. And I noticed, so it goes from Virgo to Leo. Oh, from the 26th of July. So the 26th of July, it's literally changing. The South Node is going into Leo. So that's when it's going to be changing signs. And then the North Node is going to go it's currently in Pisces and it's going to Aquarius from the 26th of July. And it's going to stay. So it's going to stay in that new energy with that new axis of Leo and Aquarius for 1.5 years until the 26th of March, 2028. I've got written here. So that does cover all of 2027.
At the time of recording, it's going to come into effect soon. And then it's 2026, isn't it? Yeah. It's starting.
Yes.
Yeah. And then it'll be the prominent nodal cycle of 2027. Yeah.
When I was taught about South Nodes, I can always remember one of my teachers saying, think of the South Node as a toilet. And it's everything that
It's upside down, like a horseshoe.
It's everything that you need to flush out. So,
I love it. Yes, absolutely.
So if the South Node is in Leo, Leo is the leader, represents the leader.
Let's flush out the leaders and our egos at the same time.
Exactly, because what makes a good leader? One that does not lead by one's ego, which is Aquarius, right? So a Leo must always, always look to the other side, to Aquarius. And there was one quote that French astrologer Andre Barbeau, he actually did mention about. He said, "It's going to be a new great place of technological growth, altruistic in nature." And when I looked at that definition up, it said action, behaviors, or persons, fundamentally driven by an unselfish desire to help others.
Oh, that's Aquarius.
Exactly. So the nodes now, not only are we getting help from Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus now and Jupiter and Chiron, but now the nodes are coming in to give us an extra layer on that cake to flush out these leaders that do not lead by heart. And I believe also with the Chiron in Taurus energy, Taurus, you know how every sign represents an organ.
Yeah.
The Taurus is the voice, isn't it? It's the thyroid, the voice box. And I believe that with the Chiron energy coming into Taurus, I believe that we're going to actually heal, especially the feminine voice. So where it was suppressed, has been suppressed in the patriarchal society, and I believe that we're going to get a resurgence of the power in the feminine voice and feminine. I mean, that can also mean feminine. I don't mean like gender. I mean in terms of using your right brain, because we're quite left. Obviously, the Matrix does put a lot of emphasis on the left brain. So, and I believe there's going to be a resurgence in the right brain and yeah, just new leaders leading by their heart, not their mind. So,
That'll transform things. But, it's interesting that you said with Chiron in Taurus and, Taurus ruling the throat, and there's a whole generation of people who are born with Chiron in Taurus, which means they're coming up to their Chiron return.
Exactly.
And I'm wondering, because we're starting with late Gen X to early Gen Y. Well, they were called Gen Y, but now they're called millennials. So they will be going through their Chiron return. And no one listens to Gen X. I mean, let's be honest, I am Gen X. No one listens to us. We're tough as because we've been through the crap that, the previous generations have thrown on us. And the younger generations are going, oh, Gen X does this and this and that. And it's like, oi, we're in this together. Do you know what happened previously? Come on, let's work together, right? Do you think Gen X will start healing, be heard finally instead of being ignored?
Totally, because they're coming up to their Chiron return, which is, yeah. So it's a time, well, and it will bring up, firstly, won't it? It's going to bring up the wounds. But this is where we must be thankful. We must be thankful for our wounds because that's really how we can evolve. So, gosh, it does make me think of, I'm following this new person, quite tricky. I was amazed. I can't remember his name. He's I think you've seen he was actually born with literally no arms and no legs. I don't know if you've seen.
There is a guy, and he's a motivational speaker.
Yeah. Honestly, he healed me just by me watching this video of him washing his hair. I thought, wow, he's not getting any assistance at all. He's doing it all by himself. He's walking by himself.
Nick Vujicic, is it? He
It
was born
must
without
be.
arms and legs.
He just recently got married. He's just recently turned trans as well, but he's got an amazing partner, amazing adoptive parents as well, who really instilled,
I think
gosh.
it might be him. Apologies if I haven't pronounced his name correctly, but yeah, I remember seeing him talk. He's like, wow, my problems are nothing in
Yeah,
comparison. I mean, so
yeah,
inspirational.
yeah.
Like to get out of your head and yeah.
And I thought, gosh, I was actually this morning, literally, I was in the looking at the mirror in the bathroom, and after watching him try to wash his hair with no hands, and then I realized. And then I saw, and I looked at my arm and my hand. I thought, oh my god, there's nothing wrong with my arm and my hand because I always think, oh my arms are too chubby, to blah blah blah.
Oh,
And
tuck shop arms. I can't get rid of them. I've hit an age where I can't get rid of them.
then I just had this. I just bawled out crying. I thought, oh
Oh,
my god, like I've got beautiful arms and hands. Like, and it
we're
was thanks
beautiful
to
just as we are.
yeah, it was thanks to
Yeah.
him just doing what he did. Like it was amazing.
He's a beautiful man. I mean, I know he said he's transitioning, but I remember hearing him talk and I'm like, gosh, you're lovely. You're like beautiful inside and out. He's a beautiful
Amazing,
man.
amazing.
Yeah.
So, that you can see that perhaps because we are talking about Chiron, the wound, right? People
Yeah.
might think, oh, he's wounded. Well,
But he's
you know,
healing us with his wounds, you see. That's Chiron.
that's Chiron. So
Yeah.
will Chiron in Taurus people heal with their voice? So they will be brave enough to speak and to basically heal with their voice. Yep. So it's beautiful energy. Or
Amazing.
everyone's. I like how all the planets are in it all together
They
holistically.
are. And I want to finish up with bringing in the asteroids and a bit of the karma that's happening with those nodes with relationships. So a lot of the asteroids were moving out of the signs like from Aquarius onwards through Pisces into Aries in 2026, so that first half. And in 2026, we're not seeing them move as so much from Leo towards like the second half of the zodiac, but they're going to be doing that in 2027. So 2026 had that pretty much, self-work energy, and 2027 we're looking at the other. So the second half of the zodiac and in relation to others. So we
Yes.
have Juno conjunct the North Node in Aquarius at the start of 2027, and then she will be conjunct the South Node in Leo. And I
Mm.
thought that was really interesting. It's like, do you think partnerships will evolve and will move away from that as you're talking about the ego-based relationships and move to something towards something conscious and equal and be able to survive, you know, relationships with others. Like we'll have this amazing growth.
And that's coinciding, even if you look at just numerology, we're going, because 2026 is currently a universal 1 year.
One to do with the self. One. Yeah.
That's right. So it's about planting new seeds as well, growing new seeds, new businesses, new whatever, new uh, just being your own CEO, I suppose. And then it's going from a 2 year. So exactly. So partnerships are going to be very key next year. Well, relationships and just being able to, like, community as well, being able to share and work together. I actually think I see a resurgence of the gardeners and having community gardens and just working together. Also, I believe in Chinese astrology, we're going from it's a fiery horse, right? It's the fiery horse that does not go backwards. The horse never travels backwards, right?
Things
So
have really moved ahead this year. They
it's
really have.
forced, things that have to go to burn, literally burn, right? The fiery horse. It's gonna just trample. It's just gonna go forward. It does it very fast as well. And then we're going into next year a fiery goat. So goats apparently were the first domesticated animals, but it's fiery energy. So will there be some tension next year where perhaps we might feel we need to settle and comply? Perhaps the fiery goat will, the temper will come out and push boundaries, which is what we might need to do. The goat energy and the two energy is also very creative energy too. So I do see a lot of new creative opportunities and businesses starting, especially with the Gemini because all the air signs see anything to do with any energy healing modalities. Like, even, hey, we might even know how to, all of us, be able to teleport by the end of
Oh,
2027.
please. Yeah. Bye. I'm going to Greece. See ya. I'll be back in a few minutes. I just got to go plant something. Well, funny you should say about healing modalities because we've got Jupiter moving into Virgo next year as well.
Yes. So
That's going to be
from
pretty
Leo.
big. Yeah.
That's true, because Virgo is all about purification and wanting to cleanse the body. Body conscious, will be very body conscious also next year. Perhaps cleaning up, decluttering, descaling as well. And of course, Virgo is the servant to giving service to the
Being
other
of
through
service.
being of
Yes.
service. And then, gosh, don't they make fantastic masseuses and herbalists and all that? They're so into that, aren't they? So
They are. And if you want to get stuff done and if you want to get it organized,
oh,
get a Virgo.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so true.
You know, when I was it was with my daughter and I was waiting to be cut open for a cesarean and I was freaking out. And the nurse, she opened my file and she goes, "Who put this here?" She goes, "Oh, for God's sake." She goes, "I'm a Virgo. I can't stand it." Within a minute, she organized my file straight away and all that. And I'm
Oh,
like,
fabulous.
"Yeah, that's a Virgo thing." She goes, "Oh, you're a Virgo too." I'm like, "No, I'm a Libra, but I know what you're doing." Yeah.
I appreciate Virgos.
Yes. Virgos, we love you.
That's
come,
right.
come declutter my closet. I'm already going through a decluttering phase. I
Excellent.
realized, oh, I put on these pants and they just don't fit. And I said to my husband, no, I'm like, look, I'm exercising. I'm eating well. Yeah, perimenopause. I get it. But I said to him, honestly, tell me, have I put on weight? I will not slap you if you say the truth. I got to know. And he's like, well, your body shape's changed and you've put on muscle. Very
There you
diplomatic.
go. Oh,
There you go.
very.
And then he's like, hang on, when did you get those pants? Are they before you gave birth to our kids or after? And I'm like, there you go. It was from before. So, ladies and gents out there, when your body shape has changed before or after kids, and I'll say gents to the masculine audience, because if you've got children, you're going to eat a lot.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's about nourishing your body.
Nourishing your body and not being scared to dump off the things that no longer serve you as well.
Exactly.
So I think we were Jupiter moving into Virgo. We'll see that more. How can we be of service? But what doesn't serve us, and I'm not talking about being a servant, that's completely different, but something that's being of service backwards and forwards equally, it's going to go in a big way.
I think it's also time to receive love as well with the Chiron in Taurus. It's ruled by Venus, right? So, and I have a feel, obviously, Chiron in Taurus, it's the wound is the lack of being able to receive love. And so there's that lack of self-worth and, a lack of safety, feeling safe in one's body as well, feeling safe to talk, to speak up, you be a good girl, especially girls are taught not to speak, just, stand and look pretty. But it's that whole, I think we're going through that whole metamorphosis, the transition from all the things that we've learned, been taught to believe, to survive. It's a survival wound. Chiron in Taurus is a survival wound that we must thank our ancestors for going through that. So then we can, because experience is definitely healing as well. So, and by us shining a light on their wounds and through us, then they also heal as well. So I really do believe that we can also heal the past as well.
We
and the
could,
future.
can't we?
Yeah.
They're in spirit. They're in another dimension, but we can heal backwards in
Totally.
family lines and forwards for what's to come. Amazing, Elena. 2027 sounds amazing. And I want to thank you for your time. It's blown my mind, like how we've unpacked the major things that are happening. And it's like, you see that every planet is doing its thing, but it's reinforcing all the other planets. Yeah. So this episode has been the last for this season for Stellar Reflections. We're just taking a small break because I've got some things going on, projects in the background, but we will be back in 2027. And Elena will be back in 2027 as well. We'll be looking more into relationships there. I want to thank you for your support and for your time. And keep in touch if you want to be on the show, or if you've got ideas or anything like that, I'm really open to them. Thank you very much, and we will see you soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for spending this time exploring the cosmos within and around us. I am grateful to share these reflections with you, and I hope they offered you a moment of insight, grounding, or reassurance. A special thank you to my producer, Jen Brown of JJ Boots Productions, for her care and support behind the scenes. Intro and outro music, Pulse Width by Tony Vodnik, licensed via Pixabay. If this episode resonated, feel free to share it with someone who may need it. You can find more of my work on my website, Instagram, or Substack, where I offer astrology for every stage of life. Until next time, may your path be clear and your inner light steady.